Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay. A tradition. My parents are the ones who described this tradition. They are my parents. My dad, who is technically my stepdad but really isn't, and my mom. On Christmas Eve, my parents allow us to open one present, and then we stay until midnight and open the rest, before playing until breakfast. Then at noon, we have guests begin to come over for Christmas dinner. Nobody leaves until the next morning at midnight. This became a tradition because my parents wanted to promote unity between my siblings and I. It teaches us to be grateful and appreciate our family. They wanted to create a tradition that my siblings and I would uphold and work to keep even when they are gone. This ritual is unique to my family because my parents want to create lasting unity between my siblings, who are always fighting. My ritual. Well, I'm the person describing my ritual. I am a student, a friend, a daughter, an older sister, and a mini-mom. But at the end of the day, I simply need to be me. I call it the day of rest, which is basically a self-care day, where I simply spend time by myself for a day and reflect on my life, what I have done in the past week, what I plan to do in the coming week, who I am, who I want to be, and what I would like to change. This became my ritual after a string of constant anxiety attacks that would leave me broken and unable to function, taking my feelings and hurt out on other people instead of taking the time to confront it. This ritual is unique to me because it only involves me, and I do something different each time, never disclosing the happenings of the day to anyone because this is my private recovery time. So let's start with my recipe for Christmas and Christmas Eve. Take a family of 5, a medium-sized Christmas tree, an angel watching over the family from the top, over 100 ornaments, a few cords of colorful lights, presents wrapped in person-specific paper underneath. At 3 hours before Christmas, 3 children picking one gift, each excitedly and patiently waiting their turns to open theirs, each ecstatic. Take 2 presents for the parents, given by their eldest, but laughing quietly as they open their own. Take the stroke of midnight, 3 children cheering happily as they attack their gifts, awed and ecstatic by turn, while their exasperated parents watch on, ready to sleep. Take 3 children, leaving their parents to their sleep as they enjoy their gifts. Take 12 that afternoon. Guests begin to arrive for dinner, 2, then 10, then 20, then 30, all crowded into the living room, dining room, and kitchen, enjoying the amazing food prepared by the woman of the house. Look at the eldest, serving the matriarch, making sure she gets to eat before the food gets cold. Take a Christmas and Christmas Eve. Family and friends gather together till late in the night and early into the next morning, celebrating each other, the past year, and the coming year. So my ritual for my day of rest. Take a day away from everybody in a place you feel safe and comfortable. Put on all your favorite music, whether that be out loud, shaking the room, or private through a set of headphones. Take an hour or 2 to make sure your space is organized, whether that means your stuff is all over the floor but strategically placed, or white glove approved. An organized space, after all, is equal to an organized mind. Find what you need to complete your favorite hobbies. Set them to the side. Pick an outlet to express what happened in the last week, whether that be through art, writing, singing, etc. Let the emotions flow until they are all out, and your hand is cramping, your voice is cracking, your heart has been poured out. Then do the reverse and look at the coming week. What do you want? What do you want the future to hold? What do you want to change? Keep going until you feel that hope for a better tomorrow spark. Keep going until you can't help but look forward to what the week will bring. Ponder not on what you can change about a situation, but what you can change. Is it your inability to compromise? Something you did that did not edify the situation? Is it even your fault? Remember that you can only take the blame for your part of the situation. Remember that the only thing you can do is apologize and attempt to make it better. Because at the end of the day, you cannot stop being who you are. And the only person who should want to change you is yourself. If the people around you can't handle you at your best, remember, that is not on you. You can only be the best you can be, and no one else should try to stop that. Now remember those hobbies you found? Do them. If they make you happy, start and finish it. And don't always do the same hobby each time. Change it up. Explore yourself through your work. Don't limit yourself or your mindset. And after you've exhausted yourself from your emotional day, do something relaxing. Take a bath. Take a nap. Watch a movie. Eat. And at night, go to sleep and truly allow yourself to rest. Knowing that tomorrow is going to be a better day. You are going to be happy. You are going to be the best you can be. And this is my letter to my dear, sweet youngest cousin. Dear Ava, as the youngest generation in our family, we don't have as many responsibilities as our parents and grandparents do and did. Our grandparents grew up in a world they didn't want our parents to suffer in, and in turn, our parents grew up in a world where they didn't want us to suffer in. As a result of both this and the changing of society, we have developed a different set of values than both generations before us. There are, however, values that our parents and grandparents have that we should uphold still even to this day and should pass on to our children to pass on to their children. The first value is that if you don't go to college, you should go to the military. Granted, this is probably a value instilled mostly in my personal family, but I still believe this is a good value to uphold. Our late great-grandparents put all 7 of their children through college because they wanted a better life for them. Almost all of them achieved degrees, like my grandfather, who got a bachelor's in electrical engineering. Our grandparents, however, didn't want their children to go through the hardships they suffered as children, so they didn't put as much pressure onto our parents. My mother personally, with my grandfather being medically retired, didn't want him to worry about her college tuition, so she went into the military. She did well for herself, even with the unexpected addition of me at 24, and eventually met my dad, who allows us to live comfortably even now. The military will provide a nice roof over your head, a salary, the ability to travel to other places, and to learn positive attitudes to apply to other areas of your life. And while the military isn't for everybody and sometimes difficult, you will be taken care of. That doesn't mean don't go to college, because the military will pay for that too, and will take care of your future generations and your personal family. But if you don't know what to do with your life, or you have nowhere else to go, the military is always a good choice. The second value is that no matter what feud is happening between family members, you cannot stop talking for more than a week. Your mom and mine got into a silent feud over something shady yours did to mine. My mom was hurt and refused to talk to us until she apologized. Your mom didn't apologize, and a month passed. My godmother and our aunt called and talked to my mom into contacting yours because your family was going through some insane drama. Mom called, and it turned out one of your older sisters was in the hospital currently, and the other one was talking to grown men online, and when she got caught, resorted to cutting herself to get out of trouble. The latter is only 12. Your mom will never apologize for what she did to mine, but my mom explained to me that sometimes we just have to forgive people. Your family went insane, and your mom had no one to talk to, really, because she had alienated her best friend and closest confidant. We can't have that in our family. We need to stick together if we don't want our lives to go up in flames. Don't allow our family to deteriorate due to pride and pettiness. The final value is that we always keep past family members alive through their memory. Oftentimes, the older generations of our family have forgotten to talk about family members who have already passed beyond when the names of those people have been passed on. Take note of all the stories you have heard about somebody in our family, all the tales of our past generations, and keep them close to your heart. After all, the people who know those stories won't always be around to tell us those stories. I love you, Ava Sinclair. Love, your oldest cousin, Lauran.